Hi everybody, welcome to my house again. Today we're going to do a workout that is core and then hips. So we're going to blast our core and then we're going to do a hip workout to try, not hip workout, but like kind of a mobility workout for your hips. So we're going to start with core. We're going to warm up. We're going to start with core. The only exercise that you need a weight for is just one of the ab exercises, the Russian twist. So just a single weight. You can judge how much you need. And you can use a rock, a dumbbell, or anything else that's heavy that you've got laying around that you can hold in both your hands. Okay, so let's get started with a little bit of a warm up, and then we're gonna roll into the ab workout. The ab workout is gonna be 10 exercises interspersed between each exercise with mountain climbers. So we'll do an exercise for 50 seconds and then we'll do mountain climbers for 30 seconds. We're gonna do that once through, it takes 15 minutes, and then we're gonna do hip stuff. We're gonna run through the abs again, and we're gonna do another round of hip stuff. Okay, great, let's go. Get my timers going for the abs. All right. Okay, let's just start with some really gentle jump rope. Okay, let's go. This warm up I feel like is probably more for me than anybody today. It's cold out. All right, keep it up. We're gonna transition real light right now. We're gonna transition doing some jumping jacks. Again, nothing too crazy. Okay, and go. And we're gonna do standing pikes next. One leg at a time, alternating. It'd be pretty amazing if you could do 2 legs at a time. Okay, standing pikes, arms up. Keep it up. Do a few skaters next. So leg behind, reach around. Again, you don't have to go too deep. We're just warming up, getting your body moving. All right, let's go back to doing jump rope. Bounce a little bit higher this time. And jumping jacks. Okay, standing pikes. Yep. And last but not least, skaters. You can jump a little bit further, come down a little bit further. All right, hope everybody's feeling warmed up. So the next thing we're gonna get going on is the core and mountain climbers. So like I said, we'll be doing core exercise 50 seconds, and then mountain climbers are core exercise. We're gonna roll into doing mountain climbers for that. So we'll have a timer, you'll be able to hear it go off. We're gonna have 10 seconds in transition after the mountain climbers to the next ab exercise so I can introduce it to you. And we have time. My cat's gonna participate today. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do X crunches. So at the bottom, you're gonna have your arms up and feet up, okay? And then crunch. And pace yourself. We're doing this for 50 seconds. So crunch it out and spread it out. Crunch it out, spread it out. Hold those abs in tight. Keep that lower back on the ground. Right after this, we're gonna roll it right over and do mountain climbers. More seconds. Keep it up. And flip it over. And mountain climbers. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is alternating plank. So you're gonna be on your elbows like this and rotate out and rotate out. Keep that butt down. Keep that core tight. Keep the pelvis turned under. Ten seconds. Keep it up. Okay, up into plank and mountain climbers. Keep those lats packed and keep your butt down. Next are pistol crunches. Okay, get into a V like this, and we're just gonna come down and go side to side. So. I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I can do full ones right now. These are hard. Rotate that upper torso. Ten seconds. seconds. Those are hard. Okay, I knew that, bud. Okay, mountain climbers. Next one is side plank hip touch. All right, so you're gonna get up in a plank and just tap our hip at the bottom. We're not gonna rest it. Except for when you fall over. Couple more, 10 more seconds. Okay, mountain climbers, hop back to it. Hip touch, other side. So go ahead and get into that side plank. Coming up and touch that hip down. Okay, go. Take a rest if you need to. All right, right into our mountain climbers. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is touch outs. So you're going to stand to sit in plank, and we're going to alternate sides. So touch out left, right. Hold that plank firm. Alternate back and forth. Okay, come to your knees for a second. Shake out those shoulders. And then right into mountain climbers. Go. a break. Hold it out if you can. Okay, so next one's boat rows. We've all done these before. So, you guys ready? And go. Roll up and in. Use your hands if you need a little help. Gosh, knows I need it today. Okay, flip it over and get ready and mountain climbers. This next one's gonna be brutal. We're gonna do some walking planks. So just come to your knees after this if you need to. Take a bead off your shoulders. Suck those abs in. Okay, shake. Okay, remember, walking plank. Cat is keeping guard over everybody. Cat's gonna tell me if you guys are doing something wrong. So, isoplank and up. And alternate. All right, come to your knees, get back into it. Mountain climbers. Come on, 10 seconds. Push it. Man, that's a lot for your shoulders, but we're done with plank stuff other than mountain climbers. Okay, so Russian twist. Go ahead and grab your weight. If you need to keep your heels on the ground, go for it. And back and forth. 10 seconds. Put those heels down if you need to. Oh gosh, brutal. Okay, mountain climbers. Okay, lay down on your belly. We're gonna do some Supermans. And 1, 2, 3, go. All right, mountain climbers. Five seconds. Right, nice. Good job, everybody. Okay, one more, but not so. Okay, so go ahead and get a drink of water, and we're gonna roll into doing some hip exercises. Everybody, this is Monty, my cat. We've been gone for 3 days, so she's not about to let me out of her sight. Okay. All right, so for hip exercises, we're gonna start out, this is gonna be a cool down from that. So go ahead and stand with your feet at least hip width apart. And all we're just gonna do is warm our pelvis up a little bit more by doing some pelvic tilts. Squeeze the glutes as you tilt your pelvis under. Okay, and then we're just gonna do some rotations. So just start by rocking your hips back and forth like this. And then we're gonna gyrate around one way, like this. You need a side view. So by turning that pelvis, tucking that pelvis under the front, and now let's change directions. All right, great, okay. So this next one we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate our hips out and then rotate our hips in. My right hip always makes this loud popping noise whenever I do this, but that's what we're gonna do. So if you guys have something like that going on with your sciatic joint, I don't think you need to stress out or freak out about it. So we're just gonna do this. All right, let's change sides. So just rotate it out. All right, now we're gonna bring it in. Okay, and do the other side. All right, okay, so what the next thing we're gonna do is lay on your back and kind of just in the spirit of getting your hips ready, we're gonna lay on your back and bring your knees kind of up towards your chest, your arms out, and make sure you have room on either side of you because we're gonna kind of rotate back and forth. So you're gonna drop your knees off to one side and extend the top leg and lead through your heel. And we're gonna hold that for a beat, bring it in, and do the same thing on the other side. And lead through your heel. Bring it in, drop to the other side, lead through your heel. And we're just gonna do that back and forth. Okay, so now this next few, just hold it and really push through the heel. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Push through the heel. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Push through the heel. Push through the heel. You should feel this. Try and keep that opposite shoulder on the ground. to the best of your ability. Okay, one more on each side. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a modified pigeon. Some of you, if you've done yoga, have probably done lots of pigeon before. If you've been in any of my classes, we do this modified pigeon all the time. So you're going to come into a tabletop position with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And I'm going to just lead with one foot back and bring the front foot forward. Make sure you give yourself plenty of room. And then just sit and sink into that best you can. If you need to be up like this, that's fine. But if you can lay down into it, the further up you have your leg in this, the bigger the stretch for your hips, so if you're really flexible. But if it starts to hurt at all, don't do it. Should maybe feel uncomfortable, but it shouldn't hurt. So lean forward into it, and we're going to come back up and match the tabletop again, and then we're going to lead back with the other foot and go ahead and tuck that leg under. Again, come up if you need to, come up if you need to. Okay, let's go ahead and switch it up again. And hold that. And we're going to do it again. A lot of this is just to kind of get the hips warmed up. I think that that's a big part of the problem with a lot of people who don't have much hip mobility, is that they don't ever spend time just kind of lubricating their hips and getting them more flexible in that way, having the ligaments and tendons more supple, loose, ready to do some work. Okay, let's do one more on each side. And come up, switch. And there we go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, you can either take a weight with this if you want, or you don't have to. It's a goblet squat. In the Russian kettlebell world, a guy named John kind of created this. And essentially, it's a squat where we kind of sit for a little bit and we're going to pry out. So a goblet squat typically looks like this, and then you're holding a kettlebell kind of in a goblet fashion, but you're kind of pressing your legs out. People have problems with squats in a number of different ways. Typically, if someone's having difficulty with squats, it's because their calves are too short or they're too tight. So my favorite thing to do to loosen up your calves is twice a day, I kind of do walking planks. I do them in the morning, and most of the time I do them before I go to bed. So, not walking planks, sorry. Downward dogs, walking your dogs out. So what that looks like is this. So just really focusing on, you don't even have to have your legs straight, you can have your knees bent, but just really focusing on pushing those heels down and keeping a really strong arch in the foot. So that requires pulling the foot up into an arch. And what that does is it gets a muscle called the gastrocnemius. And that gastrocnemius is usually what causes most of the tightness in your muscle. You've got two sets of muscles. Gastrocnemius is kind of big fatty here, and then you've got a soleus muscle that goes underneath, attaches back here as well. And so the gastrocnemius is usually the thing that's really tight on people. But just walking the dogs out as much as you can. What happens when you have really tight calves is that if you go into a squat, one of two things will happen. You're either going to come down and your heels are going to come up off the ground, or, and I see this all the time, or you're going to come down, and in order to keep your feet flat, you're going to come down like this so people think this is a squat. What your squat should look like is your feet completely flat on the ground, and your back, your torso stays up or parallel with your shin. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going for. So if you're going to squat down and you realize that either your heels are coming up or you're leaning forward, then you can put something underneath your heels to keep that calf shorts and not require it to do the stretching, and work your stretching when you're doing, like I said, walking those dogs. So let's go ahead and we're gonna just get into a goblet squat and we're gonna stay there for a little bit. So if you need to get something to put under your heels, go ahead. A towel, my husband uses a rolled up towel, a plate for lifting, or a towel rod, or a broom handle, mop handle, any of those things will work. Okay, so I'm gonna put my feet out about hip width or shoulder width apart, and my toes are gonna go out a little bit so that my knees track my toes, so that my feet aren't flat and my knees aren't coming out. So I'm gonna point my toes out a little bit, and then I'm gonna come down, and all I want you to do is just sit like this, and we're gonna just push out on our legs, and we're gonna rock back and forth. And you can do this and touch your hands down. And this may be literally you doing this right now, and that's totally fine. You gotta start somewhere, but you gotta be consistent. So this means, like, if you have notoriously tight hips, most guys, not all of them, Tom, if you have really, really tight hips, this is something that you need to be doing like every day. Just a variation of this. Literally just sitting. You can do a fingerboard workout where you do like 8 rounds on a fingerboard and then you do this for a minute. I'm going to do another exercise right after this. It'll kind of do the same thing. But you know, just pick a hip exercise and kind of fit it in somewhere in your day. You can talk on a conference call like this. You can do all kinds of things. Okay, so let's go ahead and hang out here for just a little bit longer. And again, go ahead and rotate out. You can also, if you have like a door, you can get in a door and hold on. It kind of gives you some support, and you can do this if you can't get down as far. But this is a really, really good way to go about it. Okay, I think we're done. So go ahead and plant your hands and help yourself up, either on your legs, and kind of just shake your legs out. That's a lot for some people. Hopefully it should be a lot for you, and you're well on your way to getting better hips if you're doing this right now. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is a set of lunges, and then we're gonna do another frog squat on the bottom end of the hip stuff. So go ahead and get it on your knees. We're just gonna bring a foot forward. Actually, I'll rotate the foot the other way. So we're gonna bring a foot forward, and all we're gonna start by doing is bringing ourselves into a lunge. Your torso needs to stay upright really well, and then your knees should not go in front of your toes. If you can keep a 90-degree angle-ish on your knee, then that's good. And so all our goal right now is to try and like get into stretching this out more and more. So if you're here, and this is a lot, awesome. But if you can really get into this and stretch forward, then awesome. So you can also work in stages. Be here until it feels like it's okay, and then go ahead and move into a little bit deeper stretch with it. And then if you can, come down and plant your hands and try and keep your back straight if you can. Don't like kind of roll over, hunch over if you can avoid it. And then some people may be able to come down onto their elbows. And what that kind of looks like if we're here is that you're kind of pushing this out. This is actually called a runner's lunge, where you can like get on your elbow and push this out. I don't run a lot. I used to run a lot more, but I'm not 100% sure why this is specific just for runners. Okay, so again, that can be a lot. So sit with where you are. If you're here, then that's great. This is really good. This really, really gets into your hip complex. You can roll that toe under in the back to give you a little more support. Okay, so then let's go ahead and rock back. Bring that knee down. And then let's just bring the other foot forward. And then go ahead and lunge. There we go, into that. Forward. Sit as upright as you can. Good job. Okay, if you can come down a little bit further and plant those hands, you can push that leg out. If you can come down to your elbows, awesome. But be where you're at. I'm tired today. I recreated very hard this weekend, so that's where I am today. The ab exercises are kicking my butt. Okay, so let's hold it for a few more seconds. Again, come back up if you need to. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and slowly rock back up. Good job. Okay, so last thing we're gonna do is, it's like I call them frog squats, but they're like really literally just really big openers for your hips. So basically, I'll show you in two different directions. So come as low into kind of a splits position on your knees as you can. That may not be very far for some people. And all you're gonna do is hang out there, and you're gonna come forward, and then you're gonna come back and forward and back. Okay, I'm gonna change positions. Keep going if you've got it, just so people can see. Again, come down as far as you can into a splits position. Keep the toes on the ground if you can, and then come back. And then forward. You can stay down here and do this. You can come up if you need to. For some people, this is a really easy exercise to do. For others, not so much. And then just keep walking back and forth. Good job. Again, this is one of those things you can do in your timer, your hangboard exercises, in your minute between sets for hangboarding. You should be giving yourself a break between sets, so if you're not, do that. And one more back and one more forward. All right, come on back. Use your hands as support and bring your knees in. Okay, well hopefully that helps your hips get a little looser. Go ahead and walk yourself around a little bit. I needed water. So another round of these ab exercises is going to annihilate me. So go ahead and make sure you've got your weight handy. It's so good for us, though. It's so utterly good for us. Okay, so make sure your weights are handy. And let's go ahead and get back into this round. I'm serious, it's going to totally kill me, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. All right, and take a deep breath. And remember, we're going to do an X and then a tuck. So that's where we're going to start. So hands out and on the count, tuck it in. And keep those feet and those arms off the ground. Remember to, when you're coming down straight, keep the lower back on the ground. And I think instead of mountain climbers, I'm going to suggest we do twisting plank. So what that looks like is we come into plank and just twist it out. And I may switch this up, but for right now, do this. Really drive that knee into the armpit. Okay, the next one we're going to do is pistol, alternating side plank. Okay, so come into this position and do a plank, and remember we're going to rotate out on either side, okay? So come up into plank and rotate. Okay, 10 more seconds. Twisting plank. Okay, get into a plank and twist it out. Pistol crunches are next. Really twist it out. I forgot what I was doing there. For some reason, these have really give me a hard time. Oh. Thank God. Okay, twisting plank. Back up. Okay, so next one we're going to do is side plank, the hip touch. So go ahead and stack those feet on the side and brutal. Okay. Twisting plank. And then the next set is on the other side. Okay. Come on over to the other side. Stack the feet. Hand on your hip. And up. Some people like to do them like this. You can do that if you want. So the next one we're going to do is double crunches. We were doing boat rows, but I think we should do some double crunches. So switching it up a little bit. Okay, twisting plank. So double crunches, your knees are at 90 degrees, and you're like this, and you're gonna bring them both up. Butt comes off the ground. Keep your knees at 90 degrees. Lift that butt at the top. Keep those legs in control. Okay, twisting plank. Here we go. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is a walking plank. Do this, it's gonna be a round of planking. So, get ready. Head back down, alternate from side to side. Take that lower back, keep that pelvis turned under, glutes tight. Keep going. Right, bend your knees for a second. Shake the shoulders out, twisting plank. Keep it up. Halfway there. Just a few more seconds. Ah, you got it. Okay. We're gonna get back into plank though. Because we're gonna do touch outs back and forth. Okay. Nope, back and forth. I'm used to doing them all on one side. Come to your knees for a second if you have to. I may need to. Stretch my arms out. Okay, shake it out. We gotta do your twisting planks. Oh, shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. Okay, like it. Okay, we're gonna come under our stomachs after this and do some Supermans. Whew, that was brutal. Oh, shoulders. Okay. And go. Really hold it for a beat at the top. One more exercise. I think we should do some Russian twists. Even though they're brutal. Russian twist. All right. Up and twisting planks. Last one. Is this the last one? No, we have one more to do, don't we? More stinking seconds. All right, grab the weight. This is gonna kick my butt. I might actually do these with my heels on the ground. I know. My legs are shaking though. Ten seconds. Okay, guys, twisting plank, and we're done. That was brutal. I don't know about you guys. That was brutal for me. Okay. One more round of hips. We're not going to do all the warm-up stuff. We're just going to focus on kind of the pigeon and beyond, because I think your hips are warmed up now. All right. Get some water. One of you made a comment. Hi, Kathy. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Get ready to do. Let's do some hip twists because those are kind of nice. Actually, I think you get a lot out of these. So go ahead and lay on your back. Bring those knees in, arms out to the sides, and then go ahead and lay it over. Hold that heel leading and bring it in, and hold the heel leading, bring it in. This is kind of good for a cool down for abs, right? All right, one more each side. Lead with the heel, push, 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 and lead with the heel. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is modified pigeon. So go ahead and get into your tabletop position. Come to kind of the top of the mat so that you don't have room for your leg to go back. And then square your shoulders off, push into that hollow spot in your back. And go ahead and bring that leg down and lean forward onto it. Come up here if you need. And just hold it down here. Try and rotate onto that forward hip as much as you can. And then push back. Okay, and come on up. And alternate to the other side. Okay, switch again. Okay, up. All right, so next we're going to do our goblet squats. Again, you can have a weight if you want. Something under your heels. Need to. Okay, come on up. So, go ahead and get into your squat position and just rock it out. Again, touch side, side, and push with the other elbow. Push, 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 push. And just rock back and forth. Sit as low as you can. My husband's having a very loud conference call in the next room. Okay. All right, now coming up, we're gonna go into a lunge. So go ahead and bring that foot forward and then lean forward into that leg. You can stay up tall or go down low. It's up to you. If you feel like you're gaining some mobility, come down to your fingertips. And then feel like you've got that. Your elbows. And then really push that leg out if you can. The front. Again. This. Come up. Rock back. Match the knee. And pull forward. So they said that it was going to be 50 degrees today, but like noon it was like 35 degrees. So I'm having a hard time believing it. It does look like our rain stopped, so that's kind of nice. I'm ready for summer. Okay. And on your elbows. Push the leg out. All right, and the last thing we're gonna do after this is the froggers, and then we are pretty much done with this workout for today. Okay, go ahead and match those knees back together. Okay, so go ahead and find your lowest split position for your legs, and go ahead and sit back, and then walk your feet forward, your arms forward. Sit forward and back. Forward and then back. Okay, forward, and then swap back. Use his hands to bring those hips up. Okay, so go ahead and stand up and walk around a little bit. Everybody's hips should feel a little loosey-goosey. Okay, folks, thank you so much for joining today. I hope you guys got a good ab workout in, and that you got some hips that feel a little more flexible. Stay tuned for Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that we're going to be looking at another Climb Strong workout. So I'll be walking you through that one of those free exercises from the book that they provided, if you remember. So more about that when I come back on Wednesday. Have a great next couple of days, and thanks again for joining me today. Okay, bye.